We're going to begin today's presentation with something that's new to me and a lot of people. That's why we found out there's a lot of new attendees today. We're going to be talking about global virtual money, cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin, which Chris and Jim say is the future of money. Both Chris and Jim do not need much introduction. We've had them with us a number of times. They've been on their own show. But just to let you know, if you're a newbie, that Jim and Chris travel the country by RV and specialize in teaching technology for travelers. They go to RV parks and they have workshops and classes and stuff. Now, Chris wrote the book on Google Photos. You can get your copy at Amazon. The color paperback is only $24.95. The Kindle edition, $7.95. And the special spiral bound edition, that's new to me. You can get that for $34.95. The PDF version is included with the GOT. That stands for Geeks on Tour Premium Membership. The book has a companion website that includes updates to the current content. Now, Google Maps is their #1 smartphone app, and they can teach you how to make your own travelogue websites with Blogger. Now, nationally known, popular seminar presenters. Jim and Chris have been professional computer trainers since 1983. So visit their website, geeksontour.com, and book one of their Zoom presentations for your group by completing a speaker's bureau request. But we're not talking Google today. We're not talking photos. We're talking cryptocurrency. So Chris and Jim, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks so much. And thank you for inviting us, both Judy and John. This is great. I'm Jim.
And I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. And we're going to be talking about, well, she's going to be talking about cryptocurrency. She teaches me. I'm still learning, so I'm teaching her too. So we'll do it, what it is, why you should care. What do you think?
Yeah, thanks for suggesting this topic, Judy or John, not sure who, because it is something that is just so, I think, important. And we are nowhere near experts, okay?
No?
We are just learning. Now, because, as John told you, we've been in the technology training business since 1983. You think some things have changed since then?
And you ain't seen nothing yet. That's what I have to say.
Blockchain, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency is going to take the rug right out from underneath. And it will be unrecognizable in 10 years, just like it was unrecognizable from 20 years ago. How many of you remember before smartphones? Like instantly, they have changed our world. So what we're going to be talking about today, I'm going to try to keep it focused. What is cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically? Bitcoin is what everybody hears about. What is blockchain? That's the technology that makes it all possible. And how can you get and spend Bitcoin? We're going to start with number 3. We're going to jump right into the deep end here because I think seeing something helps to understand the concepts that we'll then discuss later. Though I am curious, before we start, does anybody in the audience have a Bitcoin wallet now? Not too many people are visible, so I can't tell. I saw one. So okay. Like I say, we are nowhere near experts, but from having been in technology for so long, we recognize when something is important. This is important. What we're going to do is use we have a guinea pig in the audience. Stacy, how about using the Zoom raise hand down at the bottom? That will stick you up in the upper left corner so that we'll know We'll be able to keep track of your face. No, not that one. The one that, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, the one that says raise hand. So Stacy agreed beforehand to be my guinea pig. I'm going to step her through how to install a Bitcoin wallet and then ask to receive funds. And I am going to send her $20 worth of Bitcoin. Now, to install a wallet, anybody who wants to follow along, go ahead. You will either have a Bitcoin wallet that you can use afterwards, or you can just remove it. It's just an app on your phone, either Android or iPhone. So all you need for this is a phone that's connected, an internet connection. Okay, so how about unmute, Stacy, and just let me know if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, all right. So what you're going to do is go, are you iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
iPhone, okay. So you're going to go to the App Store and find the Blue Wallet app. Now there's lots of them, but this is the one we have used, so we know it a little bit, and the one that we're going to use for a demonstration. So you'll find the Blue Wallet app and install it. And anybody else who wants to follow along, you do it too. And as soon as it is installed, it should have a couple of questions for you, or once it's installed, tell me, and we will go on from there.
Okay, it's installed.
It's installed, okay. And then what's your screen have on it now?
Add a wallet.
There, yeah. So installing the app is just that. It installed the app. One app can hold several different wallets. It can have a Bitcoin wallet. It can have a Bitcoin, what's that? Yeah, it can have several different wallets. So you want to add a wallet, and then it will ask you, do you want a Bitcoin wallet or a...
Or Lightning or Vault.
Lightning, okay. And you just want a Bitcoin wallet.
Click on Bitcoin.
Just click on Bitcoin.
And then create.
And then create. Now you're going to need to have pen and paper.
Okay.
Because it should be showing you 12 words.
Yes.
And these 12 words are super, super important. Those 12 words in the right order. This is your private key to your Bitcoin wallet. And if you should ever, lose your phone, you can get your wallet back if you have those 12 words in that correct order. So it's also sometimes referred to as a seed phrase.
Okay.
So you've written down the 12, the 12 words. Okay. Now, and you go to the next slide, Jim.
Okay.
So she's opened the wallet. She's written down her keys. Okay, we're on the third step there. She's written down her keys. Now tap on that wallet that's just created, and you should see little buttons down at the bottom to say either receive or send.
Yep. I don't know if anyone can see that. It's hard to see.
You'd have, yeah.
Yeah, they're down there.
Receive or send, and you can't send because you don't have any, right? You have an empty wallet right now. You have a wallet, but it's an empty wallet.
Yep.
So tap on receive.
Okay.
And now you'll have choices. Yeah, what's it say?
It says, have you saved your wallet's backup phrase?
Yeah, those are the 12 words.
Okay. So yes,
you
I
have. So it's just reminding you, those are really, really important, especially once you get some crypto in the wallet.
Because you forget those, it ain't yours no more.
Yeah.
The next prompt is notifications. Would you like to receive notifications when you get incoming payments?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
And now, do you see a QR code on the screen?
I do.
Okay. So if we were sitting next to each other, I would now just take my phone and scan that QR code. But since we're not, you need to share it with me. Do
Okay,
you see where it says share?
I do.
Tap share, and then I want to receive it in my email.
Okay.
So on your screen, you should see where it says a Gmail or your Apple email, whatever email program you use, tap that
Okay.
and enter my email address, just chrisgould@gmail.com. And know that Guld is how you spell it. CHRISGULD@gmail.com.
All right, coming at you.
And send. All right. Next slide. Great. Very good. Very good. Of course, we'll see. You know, it's not happy until you actually have Bitcoin in that wallet. But so here's what I'm going to do, and I will show it under the screen. But to let you know, this is what the screen looks like. And where she tapped receive, I'm going to tap send. And then I need to either enter her 34-digit public wallet address or scan the code. Now, I'm pretty sure, there we go. Yep. I see the email. And oh, I thought it would send me the QR code.
Oh, well,
It didn't. All right, then I'm going to have to do it a slightly different way.
you'll have to get it on the
I
phone.
thought it did, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show you my phone now.
Hopefully.
And I happen to have an iPhone, but this works exactly the same on an Android phone. And I have a blue wallet right here. And I have two wallets. I do have a Bitcoin wallet, and I have a Lightning wallet, and I can't explain that. But I do have a Bitcoin wallet, and I want to send her some Bitcoin from that wallet. Step one, tap on the wallet. And now it tells me any transactions I have made with this wallet. I don't use it much. And I can send. All right. I enter an amount. I'm going to send her $20. But notice my choices. BTC means Bitcoin. If I said I want to send her 20 Bitcoin, that is $389,243.
You got that in there?
No.
Yes, thank you.
Go for it. Go for it.
I am not going to send her 20 Bitcoin. My other choice is 2 billion sats. That's Satoshis. Supposedly, the person or group that created Bitcoin was named Satoshi Nakamoto. So kind of like dollars and cents, we have Bitcoins and Satoshis. But Satoshis are like 1,000,000 to 1. Anyway, that's not what I want to send her either. I want to send her dollars. So $20 is 0.001027 Bitcoin. And that's one thing to know about Bitcoin. You know, you can work in any tiny fraction of a Bitcoin that you want to. Now, here's another number I want you to pay attention to. Fee. It says $1.23. The $1.23 fee on $20 is what? About 8%, or, just thinking off the top of my head, say 8%. that sounds like a lot, but watch this. So if I wanted to send $2,000, it's $2.65 fee, which is a fraction of a percent. So the fee to send is not a percentage. I don't know how they figure it, but it's not a percentage. So the other thing to know about fees is they change depending on how fast you want the sending to go. So if I tap on this fee that says $1.23, I have my choice. That is if I want to send it fast, which would be received in about 10 minutes. If I'm willing to go to medium, which would be about 3 hours, it would only be $1.06. If I'm willing for it to be a day, then it's only 4 cents. So most of the time, a day or 3 hours would be fine. But since I want this to happen during the seminar here, I'm going to keep it at fast at $1.23. Now I need to get her address. Once again, if I had her code, I could just tap scan here, and now I have a QR scanner open. Since I don't, I have to go copy that address from the email she sent me. So I go to my email, and there, and copy that, go back to my wallet, and paste her address in. Note to self. This is very handy. I will always write a note to self. This shows up in my transaction history. So I'm saying $20 to...
It's not coming up. Okay.
$20 to Stacy during presentation. Okay, and done. And next, and send now.
Okay, check the time.
So it is 12:22 by 12:30, hopefully, or definitely before we're done with this presentation. Stacy should have a notification that her wallet now has some Bitcoin in it. Any questions or comments, Stacy?
No questions. Very easy. You explained it very well.
Isn't it easy? And we've only done this twice before, so who knows what could go wrong. But the last time I did it was we were at a birthday party for Jim's sister, and I gave her $100 worth of Bitcoin, and it just took a few minutes. She got out her phone, installed the wallet, sent me or brought up her QR code. I scanned it, sent her $100 worth.
Yeah, it's a shame it's not worth $100
Yeah,
anymore.
Unfortunately, that was last year, and it's worth less than half. It's probably worth $46 today. It still might be worth something someday if she just doesn't spend it. Okay. Any questions from the audience that we should deal with now?
In the chat.
Well, they said to send them to Judy privately.
Okay.
So
put them in there. Okay.
Okay. We will go on.
We will.
Yep. We will. So this money just exists as software on your phone. What happens if you lose your phone? Now, if you lost your real wallet, it's gone. There's nothing you can do. But if you lose your cryptocurrency wallet, as long as you have your seed phrase, your key, those 12 words, then you just get a new phone, install the app, create a wallet entering those 12 words. And you now have your wallet and the contents, the Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you had in it, back. Now, what if Stacy says...
too far.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a good one. So big deal. You know, I just sent Stacy $20. In this country, we could have done that using Venmo, right? I could have just sent her Venmo or PayPal or anything. But there are a lot of people in the world that are unbanked. They can't get Venmo because they don't have a bank. And actually, I think Venmo is US only, isn't it?
I think so.
Anyway, that wouldn't work. If I wanted to send Bitcoin to Haiti or anywhere in the world, I could do it exactly as we just did with Stacy. I could be talking to my friend in Thailand and tell her, install a wallet, you know, send me a send request and I'll send you the money. And in 10 minutes or at the most a day, it'll be there. Today, that's almost entirely handled by Western Union. It's called remittances. People who immigrate and get good jobs in the US or other Western countries often send money back home. And that is, I think it said $586 billion a year is transferred that way. We've looked into El Salvador a little bit, and remittances, which is what that's called, is the biggest part of their economy. And Western Union takes about 10%. And it sometimes takes a week for the person on the other end to get it. So imagine how cryptocurrency can change that dynamic worldwide, because cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, is a global currency, and all you need is a smartphone and an internet connection. So people say, well, what if they don't have a smartphone? Well, true, they have to have a smartphone. But look at these statistics. This is, I think, fascinating. Afghanistan says only 15% of the adult population has a bank account, but 70% have a smartphone. And El Salvador, only 30% have a bank, but 145%. How does that happen?
More phones.
More than one phone per person. Yeah. So smartphones are ubiquitous. They are everywhere.
Especially in the third world.
Especially in the third world. And so a third world country that doesn't have a good banking system, they can just leapfrog right over that. They don't need a banking system if they teach people how to use cryptocurrency, which is what El Salvador. You know, El Salvador is the only country so far that has declared Bitcoin as legal tender. They're not doing so good right now, which we'll talk about in a minute, but it could change their fortunes in the future. So if Stacy then says, well, this is great, but I'd actually kind of like to have a $20 bill in my hand, she can do that at a Bitcoin ATM. So how to get money from your Bitcoin wallet? Believe it or not, there are Bitcoin ATMs all over the place. Just open Google Maps and search for Bitcoin ATMs. You'll see a bunch of them. We have one at our corner gas station. Now, that particular one, though, will only give Bitcoin. It won't. So we did this once. We went and fed it $20 bills and then held up our phone with the QR code for our wallet. And, you know, we put in 3 $20 bills. We got $60 worth of Bitcoin deposited into our wallet. That's the only thing that particular ATM does. But there are other ATMs that will both deposit and withdraw and actually give you cash bills out like a regular ATM. One that definitely does that is called coin flip. So you can open Google Maps and search for coin flip ATMs. And here are the we haven't ever done this, but the instructions sound reasonable. You go up to the ATM and it's a touch screen. You choose sell and the amount. The machine will print a voucher with a QR code. You scan the QR code with your wallet and send the amount of Bitcoin that you want to cash out. Then you have to wait for confirmation that they received it. And last, you go back to the ATM and choose redeem and scan the voucher, and it dispenses the bills. Pretty cool. So, do you really care? This guy, his name is Peter Diamandis, and he wrote a book that we just love called The Future is Faster Than You Think. And he says cryptocurrency is going to change our world, and I believe him. It's a smart currency that will change the way we think of money, much the way email changed how we thought of mail. 1 Bitcoin is currently worth, last time I taught this was a year ago. At that time, Bitcoin was worth $40,000, and the year previously it was worth 10. Now it's worth 20, and a year ago it was worth 40,000. So it's like I say, not as fun. But I think the next slide. But it's important to learn because it's not going away. It might change, but it's not going away. And if you look at the price history of Bitcoin, it's, even though it has doubled and halved and doubled and halved, the overall trajectory has been up. There are people who are Bitcoin evangelists, that think it'll be worth $1 million per Bitcoin at some time in the future. But I don't care about that. I really, really don't care about that. What I care about is the underlying technology, the blockchain. So let's talk about that a little bit. Cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is global virtual money. It works on the internet. So today's internet is communication plus data. Tomorrow's internet will be communication plus data plus money and other valued assets. What stopped us from having it way back when is called the double spend problem. So if you send an email, you're only sending a copy of it. If I send you a photo, I'm sending you a copy. I can send a copy of that photo to 10 other people. If I send a copy of $10, that's not good. So you couldn't do it. Back in the financial crash of 2008, somebody called Satoshi Nakamoto came up with a way to fix the double spend problem, and it's called blockchain. So imagine that this dollar bill has a ledger on the internet. So when it was first printed, that's the first transaction in the ledger. Every time it transferred hands, another transaction is entered in the ledger, and each transaction was linked to the transaction before. And the entire database was decentralized, meaning that an entire network of computers have a copy of that database that is always validating against each other. All right? So if every transaction is trustworthy, recorded in this blockchain, then you don't even need the bill. It dematerializes, and all you need to know is how to make another record in the blockchain. So that's it's blockchain which solves the double spend problem. And it was initially created just for Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin blockchain is the first blockchain, but there's so much more. Little bit of terminology here. This is fiat currency, meaning a government creates it and backs it with, if you trust the government. You know, some governments have gone belly up, right? And the money is worthless. So that is fiat currency. Digital currency is virtual, and you trust that it's real because you understand well, not understand. There's no such thing as understanding this stuff, but you can trust that one transaction is recorded immutably.
You trust the blockchain.
You trust the technology. It's more secure than banks because it's decentralized. If you've heard the term DeFi, D-E-F-I, that stands for decentralized finance. And it's happening whether you know it or not. Banks have traditionally always used centralized banking systems, a centralized database. What does centralized mean? It means that there's one authority in charge. That means that one authority could do fraud. That one authority could delete and change and take. It's not as trustworthy as a decentralized system. The little diagram on the right is decentralized. Several nodes, and they all add data, add transactions to this ledger, and validate against each other. So if anybody could, and they're locked in place, so you really can't, but if some hacker could change one, it would break the network, and all the other nodes would see it and know that something has happened, and they would fix it. It is immutable. So once a block has been written, it cannot be changed. It can only be added to. That's the general definition of blockchain. But it's more than money. It's not just money. Blockchain can record anything that uses a database. Databases are used everywhere now. I'm going to just use Carfax as an example. Most people know what Carfax is. Carfax is a company that aggregates data about cars. It uses the VIN number. So it goes and finds police reports where that VIN number has been used, so it can record if this car has been in an accident. It knows how to go to repair shops and search for that VIN number and see what repairs have been done to this car. You, as the consumer, pay Carfax for that data. Carfax now is a centralized database. They are in control of what is in that database. What if there was a car blockchain, so that when a car first comes off the assembly line, the VIN number starts its block. And every time anything happens to that car, it gets written to that block and validated by every other node in the chain. You as the consumer then, if you want to buy a used car, all you have to do is go up to the window and scan the QR code that's right on the car, and you'll see everything that's in its blockchain. So, listen to Peter Diamandis. It's time to learn, because whether you know it or not, this is happening. It's not just being used by what is it? Everybody's worried about the scam artist and people selling illegal stuff using Bitcoin. Well, one of the phrases I heard is, some of the best things that have ever happened on the internet were used by criminals first. I mean, do criminals use Bitcoin? Yes, but it is moving way on beyond that. So how did we get the Bitcoin that we sent to Stacy? I used an exchange. So an exchange is a financial institution that you have to set up an account with, just like a bank. It is a financial exchange. I used one called Coinbase.com. You have to prove who you are. Coinbase is an exchange that needs to know its customer. It's called KYC, know your customer. I had to give them my address, my name, my email. I had to give them my bank account details. I have a special bank account that I only keep a minimum balance in, so I'm not risking much here. And I bought a small amount of Bitcoin with the money from my bank account attached to the Coinbase exchange. Now, Coinbase gives me the capability to send that Bitcoin out. I sent it out to my wallet. Now I have the Bitcoin that I could send to Stacy. Where are we? 1241. I'm curious. Stacy, have you gotten your Bitcoin yet?
Nothing yet.
Oh. Okay. Well, we'll ask again later. Next. So joining an exchange versus installing a wallet. I mean, there are other ways to get Bitcoin into your wallet. You can go to one of those ATMs and feed $20 bills into it and then get Bitcoin into your wallet. So you don't have to join an exchange. But I really want you to try to get the concept. The wallet doesn't have any of your personal information. None whatsoever. It's like having money in a real wallet. You know, this is not attached to you in any way, shape, or form. Therefore, you have to keep it safe by keeping your seed phrase, your key, safe. And yeah, the wallet holds your key to your Bitcoin. One of the things that Bitcoin teachers say, not your keys, not your coin. So for example, they would tell me, do not keep any Bitcoin in Coinbase. Send it all out to your wallet. Your wallet, you have the key, it's yours. The Bitcoin that I have in Coinbase is that they hold the key. If Coinbase went bankrupt, I'm out of luck because it's not FDIC insured. You know, this is cryptocurrency, not a bank. So if they went belly up, I'm out of luck. But still, to have it all on your phone that you might forget it's even I still have Bitcoin in the exchange. Okay. Next. Well, this is just a 4-minute video, and we will give you access to this slideshow later, and you would be able to watch that video yourself. But I don't think we need to, because we actually demonstrated how to send Bitcoin when we sent some to Stacy. But if you want to review that, we do have a little video on it. And if you, at Geeks on Tour, we accept Bitcoin. If you wanted to accept Bitcoin on your website, very easy. All you have to do is put that address in there. Anybody with Bitcoin can now copy that address and send you some. However, that has nothing to do with selling a product. I mean, that's completely anonymous. If you went to our page and sent us some Bitcoin now, we wouldn't know who sent it. It is anonymous. Someday, or it does exist now, if I signed up with some software that used Bitcoin and I could link products to it, then I could advertise that you can buy a membership using Bitcoin. But that needs software. That needs software.
I see a question here. How will the receiver know who's sending them money?
They don't. The only way to know is if the sender sent them an email in addition, because just the straight Bitcoin wallet doesn't have any information about you. It just has that 34-digit number. Next. Okay, what is mining? What does mining mean? And what happened to, Bitcoin is everything we don't understand about computers combined with everything we don't understand about money. So this is tough stuff to get your head around. But let me give a shot at what is mining. In a centralized system, like a centralized system is a bank. So it's the banker that writes to the ledger. Every transaction goes in a ledger, but in a bank, it's one central authority responsible for writing that ledger to one centralized database. In a decentralized database, there's all these nodes. So each of them kind of take turns writing to the ledger. How is it determined whose turn it is? That's what mining is. So the blockchain comes up with this puzzle, and the first node to solve the puzzle gets to write the next block, and whoever writes a block is rewarded in Bitcoin. So that's what mining is. Okay, so mining, the people who are responsible for maintaining the network, it's not people, it's computers. A miner will probably have a whole room full of special computers to do their mining. Okay, blockchain is so much more than Bitcoin. One of the number 2 cryptocurrency is Ethereum, but it's not just a cryptocurrency. It launched in 2015. It is the second biggest cryptocurrency, but unlike Bitcoin, it wasn't created to be digital money. It was created to be the next web development platform using blockchain. So people can create programs built on Ethereum that have trust and value built in. For example, a musician can put a song in an app built on top of the Ethereum blockchain that has smart contracts built into it. So when you find a song in this app, you click on it. It says if you just want to listen to it, you pay this much. If you want to use it as the soundtrack for your movie, you pay that much. And if you just want to use it as a ringtone, you pay this much. And then the payment is all handled with the Ether, the actual coin based in Ethereum. I don't know if that makes no, I know it doesn't make sense, but start building the concept a little bit. All right. Blockchain will disrupt the disruptors. Remember when Uber first started and that just pulled the rug out from underneath taxi systems? Well, now a smart blockchain programmer, a smart Ethereum programmer, could build an app based on Ethereum where the drivers and the riders could do the same thing as Uber, but without Uber, without the middleman. No possibility of fraud at Uber then, because it's all happening by itself on the blockchain. Airbnb, same thing. Homeowners and people who want to stay someplace can get together directly on an app built on top of the Ethereum blockchain. iTunes, directly, rather than have these music systems take their cut. Blockchain for medical records. All right. I have a personal story here. I call it breast cancer and blockchain. I did have a small bout with breast cancer last year. Don't worry, I'm fine. It was a very small lump, surgery, got it. It's been a year, I'm cancer free. But the experience of going to several new doctors, each doctor made me fill out their form with my entire health history. Each doctor's office had somebody that typed that into their database. Each doctor then had their own portal to a database with that information in it. So many things wrong with that system. Number one, they're trusting me, my memory, to be the definitive data of my health history. They ask me what I'm allergic to. I had a really bad allergic reaction like 30 years ago. I have no place. I have no total database of my medical history where I can go look that up. I think I remember what it was, but what if I'm wrong? You know, that could be life-threatening. So accuracy is a huge problem. Then completeness. I might be forgetting all sorts of things that happened to my health over the years. And each doctor's database only is maintained with their specialty in mind. So it's not complete. And worst of all, it's under each doctor's control. Who owns my medical data? Each doctor owns their version of my medical data. Who should own my medical data?
You should own your medical data.
I should own my medical data. And then I should be able to give permission to whoever needs it. Then I don't need to fill out that form again. I go to a new doctor. I just give them a QR code that gives them the access that I am allowing. So that, and it is, next slide, I think I have. So a blockchain example. There's this company called Health Blocks, and when you get this presentation, I encourage you to go look at their video. It's kind of fascinating. This company will be taking all the data from your smartwatches and putting it into a blockchain under your control that you can then analyze and query. And you can say who to share it with so that the bulk of health data can go to research and all sorts of cool stuff. Now, what I was really concerned with is this company was founded in 2019 and they plan to launch for real in 2023. They're in beta now. And they are one of hundreds of companies who are just looking at the power of blockchain to make new applications for the internet. Global, trusted, self-validating applications. Another example, we just spent a month in Italy and we drank some Peroni beer.
A few.
I thought, oh, look at this QR code. If you wanted to scan it and drill down a little bit, you could see every ingredient that went into it, where the ingredient was grown, how it got shipped, and this is going to become standard operating procedure for products.
Yeah.
Next.
Oh, you know, this Peroni beer thing would even work with the Carfax thing that you were talking about.
Exactly.
Going all the way back to all of the parts and where they were sourced. And if there's a failure of a part, they know exactly who to go to and where to go.
Exactly.
All right.
So what's the main thing about blockchain? Well, let's see. There's three main things that make blockchain the choice of going forward with the web. It's encrypted. That's the cryptography part of it. It is self-validating. It is decentralized. So no one authority controls it. And it is immutable. Once a block is written, it cannot be changed. But decentralized is probably the biggest thing about it. That was supposed to be how the web was. The web started out as decentralized. Nobody owns the internet. There's no central authority. All people were supposed to enjoy a level playing field. That's how we're able to have our business. It's just on the web. Anybody can do that. Decentralized. However, over time, it has become more and more centralized. Big tech now owns most of the internet. Everywhere you go, you're giving up your data. You don't own your piece. It is no longer a level playing field. The Googles and the Facebooks have much more power than any of us. That needs to change, and then lots of smart people are working on this, and it's called Web 3.0. And here is just, back one. Here is just my little diagram of what that could look like. Right now, individuals go through their day and browse around on the internet, and your medical data is stored at your doctor's. Your finance data is owned by the bank, or maybe by Target. You know, when you charge something at Target, they have your credit card information. Google, you know how, Google knows everything about us, and they own it. And Facebook knows so many things about us. Okay, so that's how you create these breadcrumbs, but they're swept up by all these other companies. Consider the possibility if, as you go through the internet and create all these breadcrumbs, they get swept up into your vault, your blockchain. You have control over it, you own it. Then some smart blockchain programmer has to figure out how to give you controls so that you can give the government the pieces of your information that you want them to have. Give Google the information that you want them to have. Give your doctor. So that's the idea. Instead of the data that you're creating going to companies, it comes to you and you decide what companies can have it. That is what blockchain and Ethereum promise. That is the promise of Web 3.0.
Well, did you learn something? I think I did. True or false, if you have a Bitcoin wallet, you can send money to anyone else with a Bitcoin wallet.
Yes. I mean, as far as I know, you might have to have compatible wallets, but yes, that's the idea.
True or false, cryptocurrency is the future. You should convert all your dollars to Bitcoin now.
No. Bitcoin is extremely volatile, but I think you should get some, just enough to be able to pay attention to what's going on in the world.
Okay, the phrase, not your blank, not your coin.
Keys, not your keys, not your coin. That means you should keep your cryptocurrency off of the exchanges and in wallets.
Okay, true or false? Ethereum is just another cryptocurrency.
False. Ethereum is a whole new platform for programmers on the internet.
Who should own your data? A, the government, B, you, C, Facebook, and Google.
Google. You should own your data. And then you could actually make money selling it to, I mean, it's a value to Google and Facebook, but you should be getting that value. Okay.
And that was the last question.
And Stacy, still no Bitcoin?
Still no Bitcoin.
Did you look in your wallet, or you?
Yep, I've been looking at my
I'm
wallet.
sure you did.
I've been
Well,
keeping
darn. And it said 10 minutes, but that is an average. I mean, some transactions can take hours and they can be instant. You know, the average is 10 minutes. Apparently, we're in a busy network time and it's not. But so do send me an email whenever you get it so that I can
Pass that on.
Pass that on.
I will do that. Thank you very much.
Okay. And we are done.
I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
We're Geeks on Tour.
And we're here for any questions if you want to.
I see Joel has his hand up.
We'll start with Judy's questions first.
Oh, okay. Judy has questions first.
How do you turn your Bitcoin back into real cash to put into your bank account?
Either with an exchange or with an ATM. So it depends on how much you're talking about. I mean, I went through, there are Bitcoin ATMs everywhere that you can just have the ATM read your QR code. It then gives you a voucher so that you can wait a minute and it will distribute bills to you. Or you get an account at an exchange such as Coinbase.
Why is the Bitcoin conversion so high? It's like we have to do all our US money in pennies.
I'm not.
The conversion rate between Bitcoin and dollars?
Yeah, that's because a Bitcoin is worth $20,000. One Bitcoin is, one thing that I didn't say in here, built into the code, the programming of Bitcoin is an absolute maximum. There will never, ever be more than 21 million Bitcoin in existence. Therefore, they might get up to $1 million per Bitcoin if things
It's not tied to the dollar.
No, it has nothing to do with dollars. It is a global digital currency.
Or euros.
that has its own value based on market concerns.
Don't see how to enforce entering car events, Rex data. Can you explain?
No. No. I mean, that takes somebody a lot smarter than me to build the system that somehow, I think what you were talking about in Carfax. So how do we enforce that when a repair shop gets the car? That would have to be some kind of legislation and fancy programming so that whenever a repair shop gets a car in, they have to enter the VIN number into a database.
Well, they do it now.
Yeah, they do.
But where does that go? So that would be the devil's in the details here. So somebody, I mean, it is all programming. So some smart programmer has to come up with the programs or the apps to do it. But that's where it's headed. Faster than we believe.
What does one do if they just have a regular phone and not a smartphone?
then you can't. Then you can only have Bitcoin through an exchange. You can't have a soft wallet or a hard wallet. Yeah, we didn't talk about that. A cold wallet.
And you can't pull it out and show it to anyone. You can't.
Okay. A cold wallet is something that looks like a little thumb drive, and it's attached to a website. So there are ways, but the wallet on a smartphone is by far the easiest way to store Bitcoin.
I can see problems with theft of one's digital wallet or its contents in various circumstances. One is when one prepares for death. It seems that one must provide his seed numbers to one's lawyer. Can one's lawyer just run off with thousands of people's accounts?
Did you write this question, Judy?
No, but it just ties into my living presentation about death that I give.
Well, I mean, you give
Absolutely.
you give your bank account information to your lawyer at death. What's to prevent them? It's illegal. So I don't know. Yes, there probably is that danger. If somebody has your seed words,
Keys.
they can get whoever has the key can make a wallet and own and have the contents of that wallet.
So you have to be very protective of that seed, of those keys, and not, keep them in a safe place, someplace that's not going to be hacked, and don't just give them out to somebody just because they ask.
Right.
Or don't believe, we have internet phishing already, where social people are trying to manipulate you into giving information. Well, this is just another piece of information that they'll be asking for, trying to get.
Okay, the chat box is closed for right now, and we're going to deviate just this one time because we don't do this usually. And Joel and Virgil have an opportunity to ask their questions because they didn't want to put it in the chat box. But no more, because we need to get on to John Kraut's presentation. Stacy said, I asked Stacy to send me a text if she receives it while we're still online. Okay. Joel, you're on.
Okay. I just wanted to, actually, I can answer some of those questions. The reason why the cost is so high is because it's designed that way. The computing power that's required in order to generate Bitcoins in all these transactions is very expensive. And so the value of Bitcoin, it's designed so that it gets more expensive. In order to compensate, the value of Bitcoin is designed to go up. But it's also dependent, of course, on the demand. So if people decide they don't want to start selling it, the price is going to go way down. Other comments, the exchanges is kind of the weak point. And a lot of people may use exchanges, but exchanges have been hacked. There have been billions lost in exchanges. And exchanges also have sometimes been involved in lending and have gone bankrupt. And as was noted, if you have an exchange go bankrupt, everybody loses their stuff because there's no insurance on that.
So I take it you deal with this in some
I
capacity.
don't deal with it, but I've read a lot on it. There was an article in 2018, June, in the communication of the ACM that describes some of the problems with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin specifically. Another issue is that if you have any vision of this ever taking the place of credit cards, it's never going to happen because it simply cannot handle the transaction rate. Credit cards can handle orders of magnitudes more transactions. And if you think about it logically, it's obvious why that's the case, because all the credit card has to remember is your balance. And every month they can forget all the data before that in terms of validating transactions. All they need is recent data. With blockchain, you may have to go back to the first block to find out that somebody's transaction is valid if they were the one that acquired that Bitcoin in that first block. So all of that data has to be online all the time.
I hear you, and that is true.
It's not going
Things will change.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hey, Joel, thanks for your comments. On to Virgil. Unmute yourself, please.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Absolutely.
There are several different kinds of Bitcoin apps on the exchange or on the phone. Does it matter which one you use?
I don't know. Yes, there are a lot of them. I would do some research. I used the one called Blue Wallet because it was recommended by my guru, Peter Diamandis. I would do some research.
So they may not be interchangeable.
Correct.
Okay, that was my question.
Chris and Jim, thank you very much for the informative and interesting presentation on cryptocurrency. We all learned a great deal about the subject and are looking forward to having you two give us a presentation on another topic at one of our upcoming Wednesday workshops. Thanks again.